Hi. Hello. It's me. Hello. It's Tuesday. I hope we're all having as good of a day as we can. Hi. We are doing more art today. I hope we're all having as good of a day as we can, of course, as I, just said. Oh boy, I'm excited for this art stream. I'm excited to do it. I once again have not yet warmed up today, so I do need to do a couple of silly doodles at the start, but hey, that's what happens. I've been doing other stuff, but I'm excited for it. By other stuff, I mean mostly playing Minecraft, to be completely honest. But no, I have no excuses for that, really. But you know, that's how it is sometimes. Sans, there we go. I thought he wasn't looping for a second there. That would have been a shame. But alright. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna keep on artin' on. I'm excited about it. We're gonna be workins on some of these stuffs. I'm excited for the the one I started working on at the end of yesterday, the one of Mink and Lennox. I did reach out to the owner of the characters to be like, hey, how tall are they in comparison to each other? And chat, I fucking nailed it. I think Lennox is slightly taller than I did in my, later sketch, and that's because I tried to tone it down. Because I was like, maybe he's not actually this tall. I was right the first time. They, updated the characters on here to be like, oh, she updated her characters here. It's like, let me quickly check pronouns while I'm doing this. She updated the characters so that they exist there. She added another image to them that has, a good height context of it. And I have that now. I'm excited to, get into doing that. I think I once again, I do technically need to make Lennox slightly taller. But that's exactly what I expected. I'm so happy I guessed right. Oh boy. But alright, that's fun. What other things we got? I mean, I still have other revenges that I'd like to do. We're nearing the end of Artfight. We're not quite there, you know, but you know, because it ends when exactly? The 2nd of August, technically, is when that happens. It might be different depending on time zone. I'm not exactly sure if that's in my time zone event ending. I know it typically ends, as August is starting, but I know we got an extra day this year because of it being down first. But, we got 4 days left. 4 days and 20 hours. According to the countdown at the top of the start, 420, haha, funny number. But that's exciting. I'm looking forward to doing that, is what I'm getting at pretty much. What else can I say? I watched another episode of X-Men 97 yesterday. I believe that would be episode 5? Yeah, episode 5. Fucking loved it. So goddamn much. Oh. Truly an episode catered to appeal to me specifically. Hello there, Mercury Love. Good job getting first. Oh boy. Because it's X-Men 97 Season 2 is still coming out, so I don't want to give any spoilers for it, but Episode 5, which I watched yesterday, was so fucking good. How'd you get first 6 minutes and y'all are slacking? Sometimes people just assume that other people got it. And they're just like, damn, alright. Guess... I've had people, I think like one time first got like over 30 minutes into the stream because everybody just sort of assumed it was already redeemed. It's like, fools. Little did you know. Little did you know. Hello, hello. Ah, I fucking love X-Men 97. I'm just still thinking about it now. Cause it's just, I don't want to spoil anything. I just love it. I guess, no, that's too spoilery. I guess, does it count as a spoilery if it also doubles as a content warning in a way? I just wanna, because this is a thing that happens in season 1 as well. I just love when they get so body horror in this show. There are so many times where just like, things so fucked up to a body happen. And that shit rules to me. I'm like cheering, clapping, screaming, having the time of my life as characters are tortured. It fucking rules. It's awesome. More characters should go through that, and I should be cheering and clapping. Oh boy. But let's see here. What can I see here? Let me pull up the birthday list. I haven't done that yet. Let's see here. July 28th is today. Meaning that today is the birthday of Sarah Hanta from My Hero Academia. I believe that's the Tape Boy. I believe that's Mr. Tape Elbows. It's also Yue Cheng, who's a Vocaloid. Her birthday, or their birthday. I don't know why I made that immediate assumption. I don't know the gender of that name. I was wrong. To be fair, I feel like most Vocaloids that would be a safe guess, but nope. My apologies to that Vocaloid. And it is also the media release anniversary of Spy Kids 2. Island of Lost Dreams. Fuck yeah. It is the Tape Boy. Sarah was in Seraphim Tape. Ah! I never knew that. It's wild to me that I remember Tape Boy's name. Because there's like so many characters in that show I do not remember the name of. Why do I remember Tape Boy? Like, okay, of characters I remember, it's like, it's mostly like class 1A-ish, I suppose. You know, like, I don't remember as many, like, cider characters. Like, obviously, Aizawa was my favorite, so I remember him. It's like, of the class... I think I can remember at least one name for most of them, probably. And then some of them, it's like, that's the one that can talk to animals. And that's the one who eats sugar. And I don't know either of their names. I remember some of them. I remember there's Aoyama and Tsuyu and Yaoyorozu, Hagakure, and other ones as well. Oh boy, obviously not naming the main characters because I know them. But that's that. I can also say the ones for tomorrow, July 29th birthdays here. Natsuki Rin, aka Cure Rouge, from Yes Pretty Cure 5. And also, the media release anniversary of Sky High and Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. As well as, we have some silly real people birthdays here. Siobhan Thompson's birthday is tomorrow, and also the VTuber Gauntlet Queen. It's her birthday tomorrow. That's pretty epic. Hell yeah. Ooh, we got some fun ones just in general. There's August 1st has so many on it. Like, looking a little ahead here, that's so many. Bitches love to be born August 1st. Wow. Alrighty then. Let's see here. Sans. Get ready, Sans, because you're gonna be going on break soon here. Before I do that, though, I gotta transform into the correct way, into my proper form. 1 second, I gotta, what? Hi. I transformed. I'm here. Whoa. Anybody hear that? I think there was a bug on my... You hit the wrong one? Haha. You exploded a bug, I think. It was just some kind of bug. It just happened. Who knows? Anyway, Sans, thank you for your wonderful tunes. You can, take a break while I go over to the other screen. And we can get some art happening and be cool and epic with it. Hell fucking yeah, my gamers. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Sans, you can stop now. I'll put on some music. I have exclusively Undertale and Deltarune music for today. Here we go. That's on in the background, and I can hit the button. I can hit the art button. We can all hang out in the art zone. Let's see here. Okay. Now I gotta do a couple of warmy-uppy thingies, because I haven't drawn at all today. Let's see here. Do I just do what I did yesterday and I just sort of look around my room and I draw things based on what I can see? You know, in the distance, and by in the distance I mean like, I guess on the other end of my room, I have a poster of cryptids. And I know what some of them are, just off the top of the dome. I can't quite tell what some of these other ones are, so I can make some fun guesses here. I've obviously got... I guess it's not really a poster, it's like... I think it's a cross-stitch. Or something to that effect. It's like on a tapestry of some sort. Is tapestry the right word? It's on fabric. So quick... do I want to, like, go for, like, what they look like on there? Oh my goodness. Thank you for following. Hello. I'm doing quick cryptid doodles to get into the art mood. Into the art vibe. This is Mothman. This isn't how they drew Mothman on their thing. They drew Mothman as sort of... They did very interesting wing shapes for this Mothman. I think it's supposed to be like this kind of thing. Or it's like then like the feathers are like that. I don't know, I like to give Mothman moth wings. Some people do Mothman moth wings, some people do Mothman bird wings. And I think those are both valid Mothman. Just like, I don't know, if Mothman had bird wings, and I was seeing Mothman for the first... I exploded. If I saw Mothman for, like, the first time, if I was the first guy to see Mothman and Mothman had bird wings, I don't know if I would call Mothman Mothman, to be completely honest. Get kaboomed. I won't do all the shading to, the wings. The wings can be... Good job getting second there. I also see on the tapestry Fresno Nightcrawler. Another icon. Sort of inverted Mothman here. Where it's like, this is a pure white guy with dark eyes. Ba-ba-ba. There's also a bigged foot. Can I remember how the Bigfoot walk go? I'm basing it on, like, what I'm seeing over there. I mean, their Bigfoot's facing this way. I feel like pretty iconically Bigfoot's walking this way, though, in my mind. Which way is Bigfoot walking? The world is full of mystery. I'll never know. I can never look it up. Search engines don't exist. I simply can't. This is a fucked up Bigfoot. That looks like a skull. I'm trying to do like a sort of weird hairy guy. I remember when I was a little kid and I would go on a plane and they would have those like little sort of, I guess, plane magazine types, like Sky Mall type shit. And there would always be like, one of them would always be like this huge statue of Bigfoot. It was like life-size Bigfoot statue, and I was obsessed with that thing, and I wanted it so goddamn bad. Who else do they have over there? They have something that that is labeled Deathworm. Unfamiliar. I'm assuming this is sort of like a Tremors situation is the vibe I'm getting. Because it's like, the way it is on the poster it looks like this. One of these types of guys. I think it has more teeth than this, but I'm going simple mode. Who is that? I have no idea what that other one is. The font isn't the easiest to read from far away. Like, this one's technically closer to me than the Deathworm is. Because of how perspective works. I have no clue what that is. It's something horror. I think it's like a place name horror. Is it something Field? Edfield, maybe? And I can barely tell what it is. It's like a guy standing there, sort of. Looks sort of like this. And then the head is very dark. And it looks like it has maybe a little chest floof or something here. At least it's white here, or at least lighter. The rest of it seems brown, except for, I think the feet are black and potentially the arms. That's sort of what it looks like to me. Next to that is the Kraken. Even if I couldn't read that one, that seems fairly obvious. When you see something that looks squidgular. Squid are sort of like this. And you just go crazy here. Do squid also have 8? Or do they have more or less? Or is it different depending on the type of squid? This guy could have a bajillion. It's the Kraken, you know? The Kraken probably has a lot. Given that it's the Kraken. Is the Kraken a giant squid or is it a giant octopus? Because I'm realizing now, I feel like I typically see it more octopus-ish. At least it tends to have, like, octopus tentacles, you know? Where they have, like, the goobers on them. You know? I feel like I don't often see a smooth Kraken. Next to that, Flatwoods Monster. Iconic head shape there. Actually, I think they got sort of like this sort of thing happening. No reference allowed for me, except for looking in the distance at this fucking poster. What else is next? Next is Chupacabra. Which, they drew it as a biped. I'm not doing that. I'm going quadruped. This is what Chupacabra is to me. I think Chupacabra is one of those beasts that can do either way. I mean, realistically, I think it's just a dog. But you know, Encrypted World, I think it can go quadruped or biped. In real world, I think that was probably just a dog with mange. But this is a Chupacabra, it's evil. I don't know what the fuck happened to this drawing of it. But whatever. Is next... Oh, is that the Hopkinsville Goblin? I think that is. Shout out to the Hopkinsville Goblin for being the inspiration for Sableye Pokemon. I felt insane when I learned that. It's just like, why do they know about that? Why does Nintendo know about the Hopkinsville Goblin? Why did they... And it's like, it's not like that's like a later generation guy. That's a pretty early guy. At least to me. You know? The fuck is that next to it? I think that says Denver Demon. That just looks like a gray alien. Does that say Denver Demon? That just looks like a gray alien to me, you know? One of these. But there's 3 of them. Nessie. I'm just gonna do like this for Nessie. This is Nessie. She's poking her head out. Okay, next is something labeled Frogman, which I am entirely unfamiliar with. I'm running out of room on this canvas and I don't want to make another layer, so I'm just going to start drawing slightly smaller. This just straight up looks like a fucking bullywug. And we got a jackalope, which I think I can fit in this small space here, because that's just a That's just a bunny with antlers. We got Yeti. Which I'm just gonna draw next to Bigfoot as like, this is its friend the Yeti. Yeti has always seemed to be like a more aggro version of Bigfoot. To me, Bigfoot is chill as hell, but the Yeti is mean. And then I have no clue what that next thing is. I thought that the last one on it was the Jersey Devil, but I'm looking at it now, that the word underneath it, I cannot read it. It is far too short to be the Jersey Devil. I cannot tell what that says, but it looks a lot like Mothman. Is it sort of like a... Imagine this with like normal proportions. I just have to draw it small. It's got these sort of situation. I think it has little eyeses. And then it's just... What does that say? Font is so small. I cannot tell. Well, whatever, there we go. We've warmed up, I think, now. Let's see here. Do I want to try and get any sort of wiggles on these, maybe? Or do I want to just go straight to this one? Here's the image I was talking about before, when I mentioned that she added these guys here. So we have heights. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make Mink slightly smaller. In my mind I was like, I can make Lennox bigger, but I think I'm gonna make Mink smaller, actually. Actually, I think like around here is good. So I'm thinking like that head sort of chin area. Like the very top of it, including the fluffs. That was... I immediately draw the most diagonal line you've ever done, Sam. God damn it, I did it again. Yeah. I mean, it's still slightly diagonal, but, you know. It's literally... I can fucking hit... Wrong button. If I go over here, I can just... Yeah, there we go. Straight line. Yeah. Epic. Coolant poggers. I really like this. I'm really excited to do it. Okay. I'll keep these guys on separate layers for now. Go epic folder mode. Before I get too far into it. You know what I'm gonna go ahead and do? A little bit in advance here. Ooh, I have this lovely for me already here. This... I was gonna grab colors in advance. Here, let's make a layer of color. You know what? Let's make a chart Da-da-da. We'll do a label, we'll do a mink, we'll do a Lennox. Thank you for the pasta water. I nearly knocked my water bottle over when I went to grab it, but I didn't. Hehehe. And hello, Ashley. So then we'll get, like, hair, skin, hair color here. Good afternoon! We can get, we both are wearing a cloak, so I'll have a cloak thing. Then I'll do shirt, pants. I believe Lennox has a coat. I can get this top Lennox off here. Yeah, I'll include a coat one just for him. Ba-ba-ba. Yeah, and then boots. And I believe, yeah, his tail is the same color as his skin. And Minx is the same color as her hair. So I don't need to worry about that. Oh yeah, eye color would probably be important. She just has her eyes closed here. Move that there. Ba-ba-ba. So let's go to a different one here. Sort of greeny eyes. They're also bluey. I thought they were bluey. They're just greeny here, I think, because of lighting. I'm gonna steal them from this. I don't know which of these to go for. I think I'll start with this one. Yeah. I'll wrap them both. Ba-ba-ba. Like, right, yes, this is one that I have a big stabilization on. This brush that I'm using. Like, yeah, I'll grab that as well if I want it. Ba-ba-ba. Cloak. Shirt. And it does have these buttons on it, which is the same color as that, but you know. Pants. Nothing for a coat because you don't have that. Boots, once again, this big brown. This nice blue. Good colors, good colors. Oh, is this the same blue? Nice, nice! Haha! Cohesion! That makes me feel like this is probably the base eye color then. I was like, is that the base eye color and that's a highlight? Or is this the base eye color and that's the pupil? You know? Okay. Hide that. I go over here to Lennox. Let's move this layer over here. Wrong thing. This layer over here. Hair. And then we get this nice little... I like this fun neon greeny yellow. Grello. Now we once again have this very dark... Is this the same? No, it's slightly different. And I believe this would probably be the same as your skin tone, though, isn't it? Yep. I sneezed. Okay. So we got the base bit of the cloak here. Got a few more colors on you, huh? You're a less simple lad. It's your official title. The less simple lad. Okay, and then we got this sort of waistcoat, I suppose, would be the maybe term? I'm not certain. I don't know the terms of things. I really like their color palettes. I was saying this yesterday when I was drawing Gelt by Scootler. Of course, also these characters are by Artfight user Fidget. I was saying yesterday when I was drawing Gelt by Scootler, I was like, man, I should make more characters that have brown tones as like a bigger thing in their palette. This is just encouraging me to do that more. So we start off with that as the gradient, and I'm guessing it's going to be fully down to this color, is what that gradient is. I was like, it's either going to be down to this color here, or to this color here, you know? And it seems like it's 2 for this one, because I don't think we're introducing a new color to the palette here. That doesn't seem like this artist's style. Yeah. Making sure I'm getting everything in the correct zone. And just grab it from there. Nice, nice, nice. Now I have this for when later when I color I don't have to flip between all the refs all as much. Now, I am still going to have to use them for, doing my more detailed sketches here. But I have less to worry about that way. So. What I'm gonna do is make additional folders here. I'll call this the Dunzo folder. And admittedly, it's not going to be Dunzo for a bit in this folder. I'm planning ahead. Should probably label a couple of these layers before I get a bit further. I'll just call this one L and R. Where's the ampersand? It's above the 7. Oh, I don't have caps lock on. I should probably do that. And then these are like the description names here. I'm gonna label this other one Picnic. I don't think it is a picnic, but it reminds me of a picnic. And yeah, I did remember that right. Blue accent color varies in brightness. Haven't figured out what to settle on. Use whatever looks best to you. I think I'm gonna stick with the one here, and then if I want to change it later when I have it in comparison to the other colors, maybe I will. Over here. I'm gonna label this other Lennox as fashion. Because, I mean, look at this. This is fashion. And then this one as well as description. This one as height. Epic, layer, labeling. That's what everybody loves to tune into the stream for. I can delete this layer now, I think. It's like, I don't like that sketch. I don't want to keep looking at it anymore. There's also this one here, which, as you can see, this is closer to, the proportions I've now gone with. Because I fucking... I toned down the height. Because I was like, but what if I was wrong? I've gone back to exactly what I had. I'm so proud of myself. Alright. This will be Mink Sketch 1, aka Msk 1. And this will be Lennox Sketch 1, aka Lisk 1. That's my power. My power of guessing characters' heights right, and labeling layers. Yeah, everybody's intimidated. I don't know which of them I'm going to have, like, on top of the other here, because they overlap a little bit. I don't know which one's gonna be on what. I suppose we'll find out, and we'll see what looks better. I realize I hit semicolon instead of L for Lennox. It's Enix. I'm not gonna fix it, that's my power. Now let's work on you here a bit. I suppose before I do that, pull up the refs. Hide that. This over here. We're gonna wiggle this a little bit. My power of wiggles. We're gonna do sort of this. I'm gonna put this one below the others. I'll get this one as well. This seems like I like that one a lot. I don't think I'm going to use it as an image as much. I think I'm gonna stick to these three. Make this one bigger. Wait, before I do that, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-bow. My power. Epic. Then I'll hit a save button. And then I'll go over to my little sub-view reference thing. Pull this up. Ba-ba-bam. Now I can look around on here to see. I feel like I might be using this one a little bit. Just double check. I was told that this one was a bit older. Ah, yes, the boots are shorter! The boots are shorter! That changes everything. Everything ever. Yeah, I figured I would be mostly stanking on this one here for clothes ref. It is fun to see, though. Back over here again. Okay. Ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba. Let's get a sketching. So I sort of have... We're just sort of like looking up, I guess. And with this hand up here, I'm not sure exactly what I have her doing. I should probably figure that out, I suppose. It's probably a big, good thing to figure out. So I think sort of reaching up towards this sort of... Because there's gonna be a bright light from the left here. Maybe reaching up sort of towards it a bit more. I don't want it to look... I don't want to have this arm straightened out too much, you know? This sort of looks like waving to somebody a little bit. I guess if it's like that, it's more waving to somebody. I have the thumb over here. It'd be more so like not doing that. I don't know why I did those fingers so thick. Maybe arm could be out like this a little bit. It's like that one, painting of the philosophers, where it's like I'm pretty sure one of them is Socrates. Who's the other one? Is it Aristotle, maybe? Where it's like one of them is pointing up, and one of them is pointing outward. Because one of them was more talking about people and stuff, and the other one was talking more about, like... It was symbolism or whatever, you know? Look, I didn't have any philosophy classes. I took like half of one. Half of, like, basic philosophy. I'm like, what I learned is that there were the sophists, or sophists, however you pronounce it, and Socrates fucking hated those guys. That's all I remember. What if there was a butterfly? What if a butterfly, like, landed? And Mink is like, oh shit, a butterfly! I think that's good. Like, whoa, this is a thing that's not going to live a long time. Isn't it beautiful? It's a metaphor or whatever. I need to do more with my own immortal characters. The hell is this hand that I'm drawing? Maybe I should save the hand for a second. Let's get a little face on here. Looking up at a beautiful little butterfly. I like that idea a lot. I was like, what's something that could be there? It was either a butterfly, and my other thought was like cherry blossom little flower petals. Are they? Yeah, they're flower petals. I was just about to be like, are those a tree? No, there's flowers on the tree. That's sort of like the whole thing with them, you know? That's sort of what they're known for, those cherried blossoms. Yeah, I really love immortal characters as sort of a... Just like, I love a situation that characters can be put in. It's similar to how I love time loops and that kind of thing. Where it's sort of, you have this guy, and you put them in an extreme situation and you see how they react. That's what stories are. Just the situation can be more or less extreme. I love that kind of thing. Sort of like a thought experiment in a way, you know? I like taking a guy and then being like, okay, what does it take to make this character break? What does it take to make this character do this? I've seen that as like writing advice type stuff before, of like, Don't think of it as like, oh, this character wouldn't do this or they would do this. It's more like, what would it take for this character to do this? Like, oh, this character doesn't cry. They won't. Versus, what would it take to finally make this character cry? You know? Would it be something easy? Do they literally cry over spilled milk? Or does it have to be a bigger situation? And I love that shit. I think it really helps you get to know your character of just putting them in different situations, even if they're not the situations that they'll end up sticking in. It's just fun little thought experiments. I'm fucking up these eyes a bit here. Let me get rid of this. It might help me. There's a lot you can do with an immortal character. There's a lot of directions for them to go in. And these two, the reason that I've grown so attached to this person's OCs is because they sort of like embody like the different ideals of it, right? Like the two extremes of like caring versus not caring, I suppose. It's an opportunity to either love life or be like, hey, everybody else who isn't immortal's fucking less cool because they ain't. Why get attached to it? Shout out to They're Only Human from Death Note the Musical. I listen to that all the goddamn time. It's like the only song from Death Note the Musical that I still regularly listen to. Not because the other ones are bad, but simply because that one, like, occupies my brain. You know? I picture that with my OCs a lot. I need to work on... I have, like, my immortal sort of OC characters, not my immortal. That's an entirely different thing. But, I need to work on, like, the bad guys on that. I've spent a while in my brain developing the other aspects of it. Need to focus on them, give them the time that they deserve. I'll just sort of put the eyes like that. I might have to move them. I don't know where, you know, just to make sure that they line up with the butterfly. I love these big fun ears. Double check a thing with Lennox. Whoops, that's not the zoom thing. Okay, yeah. I wanted his ears for comparison. So he's got sort of slightly more elfular. Trying to double check because I was getting the impression that Minks are sort of... How do I... You know, like when like how cats, they can be up like this and then they can sort of rotate to sort of be more down, and then it's like they're like down here is like where the bit is, but it's like you wouldn't see that. He's sort of like facing... Oh, I'm not using my other model right now. I was about to be like if I do this, and then I was gonna make a sad face and my ears would go down. I can't do that right now. That's sort of the vibe that I get, is that like, it's like that, but it's on the other side. So you wouldn't really be seeing anything. I'd switch over to my other model for a goof, but I've already closed the thing, so I don't just, you know, have that in the background taking up RAM or whatever. I love Immortal characters and how they react to different things. Now I'm thinking about Undead Unluck. I need to rewatch that and reread that or whatever. I fucking love Undead Unluck so much. One of, like... This has only happened to me a couple of times where it's like, I'll, like, start watching an anime and be like, I love this. I can't wait for more of this to come out. I need to read the entire manga right now. And then I did. It was so delightful. And it has a very good Immortal character in it. Ba-ba-ba. Okay. Rotated slightly this way. Just sort of looking at a little butterfly. Looking at a butterfly for a wonderful reason. Well, I was about to be like, oh, I should probably make, when I upload this drawing, I can probably make the butterfly the thumbnail for the drawing. It's like, depending on how good the butterfly looks, I haven't gotten there yet, you know? Honestly, right now I'm not even that happy with the face here, but... it's not bad. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm gonna not fucks with it when it's not bad. Because I might just make it worse. I think I should make my sketching pen a bit bigger. Okay, and we're sort of leaning on this leg a bit here. Making sure this looks right. I think those are what proportions are. I think those are what proportions are. If I do say so myself a little bit. Alright, chat, we are going to be having an ad break here in a couple of secs. So be sure to fix your posture, take your meds, save your files, feed your pets, charge your devices, do some stretches, unclench your jaw, and feed your pets. If you need to, this is a great time to go to the bathroom or grab a snack or get something to drink. So please take a moment and take care of yourself, alright? Gotta. Better, or else. Like, I feel like this leg could potentially be rotated. That's why I'm doing this sort of little kneecap. Where it's like not facing exactly to the side here. Sort of bringing it out a bit. Let's do an eraser moment. I love the Snowden music so much. It's like one of the most nostalgic Undertale songs for me. Like, there's a lot of them that, like, get me emotional and stuff. Or get me hyped or whatever. Snowden is just so putting me back when Undertale first came out. And, like, the fan community is starting to take off. Whenever I Google image search papyrus, I'm just getting images of Egyptian paper. And when I Google search Sans, I'm just getting, did you mean a Sam's Club? And I'm like, no, I want to see that funny little skeleton. Little did I know how much I would be seeing that funny little skeleton. Undertale fucking rules. And Deltarune also fucking rules. There's not, like, a heel on these shoes. I think I checked that last time as well. Like, if there was a heel, I need to redo the foot that I drew. At a slightly different angle. Ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba. Something to that effect. I think we can go ahead and sketch the shoe in here. I want to. So it'll be... It's like just below the knee a bit. Now this is pretty close to the knee, but it's like when you bend the leg, it'll like go further down. And I'm looking at a bent leg version over there. At least I think that's how it works. I do have some boots, like, over there. Gestures vaguely, y'all can't see that. I have a couple of pairs of boots over there that I could technically, I suppose, put on and double check, but I think I'm good. I think I can be forgiven if the boot length isn't 1,000,000% accurate. You know? Ba-ba-ba. I did this little line here, but we don't actually have that. This is just where the laces start. We don't really have the tongue of the shoe to worry about. I might keep this line here, though, for the sake of, giving that depth. Do I care about having the exact right number of laces? It's not too difficult to do. So we have that there, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total. So then I can get one here. Especially easy number to do here. It's almost like an artist did them. Alrighty. Do. Try that another time there. Lovely. Lovely laces moments. I feel like technically I could have curved them a little bit more. But I think I don't care enough to try that again. Ba-ba-ba. And then I'll probably do on another layer here. To make that even more of a different color. Even more. Ba 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 ba. Orange, probably. No. Yeah, we can do this dark blue. Alright, we do little guy in the middle like that, and then big sort of lace moments here. I think I'm gonna wiggle that like that a little bit. For slightly more depthy stuffs. Oh, wow! Hey there, Vex! Welcome on in! Hi! Hello, everybody! Hi, hi, hi! Welcome, welcome! I'm doing some epic art. Hi, my name is Mack. Mack Aaroni, aka Mack the Cheesy. And I'm a funny little cat dog VTuber. I'm not normally this little. I am normally a funny little guy. However, I am more little than normal. I get little whenever I do art, because I put all of my brain power into doing the art. I can't hold a cool corporeal form. I have to stop saying that every time, or else that will become lore. Unless it is lore, who knows? Anything could be canon if I believe in it hard enough. Or if I don't care about it enough. Either or. Right now I'm doing some art of the characters Mink and Lennox by the Artfight user Fidget as a revenge for her attacking some of my characters. You have to do the same. Yeah. I'm drawing. I guess technically I'm just drawing Mink right now. Lennox is just over here looking like, hey, what are you doing over there, bud? What are you doing over there? Lennox, you'll have his turn later. This is a Mink zone right now. Where Mink currently exists as a head, a torso, and a leg with one big boot. The order of things of drawing, you know? Don't worry about it. Certain programs hate working when you want to be an actual anime being. It's rude of them. You should let us just do whatever. You should have all the power in the world. To do. Okay, do I want to do this leg right now? I suppose I can try. Of second leg. The second leg has hit the... God. Yesterday, after I had raided CB Doodles, there was a joke that I was considering making in their chat, but I was just like, I don't know this person well enough for me to do that. Which was just like, I got shouted out twice by accident, and they were like, you know what, fuck it, let's do it a third time, and in my mind I'm like, do I need to just, do I make a joke about the Pentagon? I'm like, I don't know you well enough, I suppose, to... Yeah, read and dash, yeah, go take care of yourself. If anybody else needs to do that, of course do that. I highly encourage prioritizing taking care of yourself over, watching internet shit. Even if that internet shit is my internet shit. They shout out the Pentagon! Shout out to the Pentagon! We all love the Pentagon. You know what? It's probably like top 10 shapes. What are the top 10 shapes? Triangle? Circle? Do we count square and rectangle as separate? I mean, probably, right? Given the whole, like, not all... They're both very useful, though. I always say, like, whenever I'm describing something, I use the phrase, it's like rectangles and squares fairly often. You know? Or it's like, all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. I say that shit all the time. So at least just for that use, they're very up there. I suppose when I say, like, best shapes, am I including 3D shapes or just 2D shapes? Because then I'm gonna have to, like, start bringing in, like, cubes and shit. That just feels unfair. To bring in a cube to the table. You know what's a low tier shape? You know what's a shape that sucks a bit? Rhombus. Who does the rhombus think that they are? Rhombus wants to be cool so bad. And it's like, you're too desperate for it, Rhombus. You're like, oh, look at me, I'm over here, I'm another fucking, quadrilateral over here. Quadrilaterals are popular. And the guys with, like, the slanted edges, they're popular. Can I be popular? It's like, no, Rhombus. Pick a struggle, Rhombus. Arbella's ghost shape. I have to look this up. Oh shit, that rules! Oh my god. Oh my god, for a second other reason. Holy shit! Thank you, Orphan. What the fuck? Thank you for the 10 gifted.
Serrated Orphan gifted.
What the fuck?
To its Tuesday moon.
What the fuck, Orphan? Happy Tuesday!
Serrated Orphan.
Anyway, this is the... Oh, I don't have the layers hidden. This is the shape we were talking about. Arbelos? I don't know how to pronounce it. This looks cool as fuck.
Serrated Orphan gifted a tier 1 sub to Coolish.
This looks like a superhero logo. We're just gonna have this beautiful...
Serrated Orphan gifted a tier 1 sub to a Mab_Ashley.
I don't even know how many of the notifications have gone. Was that the last one? Nope, it wasn't.
Serrated Orphan gifted a tier...
Because it's like, oh, they're not in the order it said in the chat. And I've not been keeping track.
Serrated Orphan gifted a tier 1 sub to Ajel's Wad.
I gotta move this leg up a bit, maybe. I think I may have to move this leg up a bit, maybe.
Gifted a tier 1 sub to Musician 2883.
You know? Let's see here. Oh no, wait, I don't have to wiggle.
Orphan gifted a tier 1
Because though
sub
I
to
put the
Valentine.
laces on a different layer. The laces are up there. Do I move this like...
Serrated Orphan gifted a tier 1 sub to
Is
Nicholas.
that more accurate? I feel like it should be higher up than the other leg, right? Whoop! That's the entire body. That makes sense to me. However, I could be wrong. Should also take this leg and I think move it out a bit to meet that up with that. Wonderful, I think. I think that's wonderful. Just sort of leaning. I put myself in a weird pose to look at it, or it's like I'm over here looking at it like I'm leaning back. Here's my tablet. I'm like leaning back from it, looking at it like this. For some reason, I'm like, that'll let me see if it looks good. Is if I lean back weirdly. Actually, it's more like... Nyum. Okay. And then it'll be like the leg here is where it will turn into a foot, this leg. Okay, this is like the big bit of it. The heel. The heel. I always draw feet like with like a sort of like this. That's fucked up. You know, you got that, you got that, you got that. It was like, I should probably... I guess this is the heel, the arch, and the toes, I suppose? I was like, I don't know what to call those, but I guess actually it was actually way easier than I thought. And I figured it out pretty much immediately. So... let that be a lesson that everything's actually incredibly easy, and you should be able to do everything first try from now on. Because I said so. You know what, let me just sort of this a little bit. Well, yeah, we got a hype train from that. What emote did I get? I got like a balloon dog. That GIF loops in such a fucked up manner. Why does it loop like that? I gotta stop staring at that dog. Like, that's not how a GIF should loop. Did you just miss a stupid number of gift subs? Yeah, Orphan gifted 10. So it was like immediate level 3 hype train just from that. So now I got a doggy. A ballooned doggy. Doggy balloon. Hell yeah. That's a wonderful emote as well. That's a beautiful little guy. I can't keep getting distracted by emotes I have to draw. You know something? I always forget how much that, like, I can zoom in more. Something I always sort of forget to do is continue zooming in. Like, I don't have to do it. The amount of times I'll, like, be doing art and I'll be, like, working on this and I'm, like, fully zoomed out. I'm like, ugh. No, I can. That's part of the benefit of digital art. That's, like, one of the big draws of it. No pun intended, but fully embraced. Draws. I love when I accidentally do a pun. It makes me feel like I'm slightly more clever. Like, well, I did that on my own and it definitely wasn't a coincidence. My brain just sort of did that because I'm so smart and cool. Okay, this light goes back here. What direction... Is this foot fully going this way, or is it more so facing forward? I suppose is the question. I think it would be similar to this foot, right? Where it's sort of 3/4? That makes sense to me. Like, I don't want to pull out a 3D model just to do this. In an ideal world, I don't have to. Do I live in that world? That's the question. I want this foot as well to be at more of an angle. I can just draw it over here as well and then, like, move it in. I keep remembering that I can do, like, basic things. Like, right, yeah, there are many benefits to drawing digitally. That's why I like doing it. And why, like, every time I do something traditionally, I suddenly am like, what the fuck is happening? Why is this so much harder? That's why I only really do traditional stuff for, like, studies. Or doing doodles while I'm away from a digital device. And I don't, like, post anything I draw traditionally because it's much harder. There we go. I think that works. Maybe. Let me hide that layer. I think that works. Maybe? Let's give it the little bit here. I think you won't be able to see most of it. I think it'll be like that. And then we can do the, let's get the shoe on here. Ba-ba-ba. Excellent, excellent. All good, all epic, all poggers. Niceys, niceys. All according to Keikaku. Did I get rid of... Okay, at some point I got rid of the blue laces. The dark blue laces, like a fool. Chuck E. Cheese poggers. But luckily, that's very easy to get back because I can just do this again. Whoa, I did them again. Can you believe? It's like when I do the line art, I'll just go and like, you know, I'll do like a... That's the secret for a lot of this stuff. Is if you have... Why worry about like doing like a... like getting all this squared away when you can just do this? Whoa. Solutions. Now I gotta remember what layer everything is on. What's this layer? Is this layer nothing? Yeah, that layer's nothing. Be gone. Be gone, nothing layer. You've heard of a nothing burger. I think a nothing layer is what they call a chicken when they're like, okay, this guy's done. Go to chicken retirement. Okay. So that's a good one? Hell yeah. The secret to comedy is going, that word is like this other word, and then just doing that over and over again. And then you get a bajillion jokes. Now, it'd be really funny if I, like, was able to come up with a good wordplay from that. Okay, what angle are these laces? I think they're like this. I think that's how shoes are. I think that's shoes. Now, at the current stage in the drawing, no arms, yes shoes. That's the layer of importance. I feel like I'm always saving the arms for last. Which is like, that's fine sometimes, but sometimes it's also like, you know, they're pretty important for some poses. So it's pretty good to know, like, what they're doing. For most poses, really. And yet I'm constantly just like, okay, that's a problem for future me, though? Yeah, looking at it zoomed out wild, yeah. When I zoom all the way back out and it's like this... I do want a lot of empty space to the left. That is important to me. It might get to be less, but I like it where it is for now. Let me see what it looks like if I just have it sort of like this. I guess that also sort of works. I don't know, I like them... because it just gives There's two characters here, right? And I like the idea of Lennox sort of being crowded all the way over to the right. You know? There's all this open space, but he's over here to the right and making himself smaller, sort of. Intentionally being in the darkness. Ignoring all of the happy. I love themes. Ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba. Let me layer these. Layer? I was gonna say layer these labels. That's not quite true. Okay. Is this arm time? It might be arm time. Let's see here. Okay. Some epic circles. The shoulder circles. Circles. I don't know why my brain did that leap. I don't know why my brain leaped in that direction. That's not relevant at all to circles, to shoulder circles being circles. My mind immediately was like, remember Charles Manson? I'm like, what? What happened to my brain there for a second? Completely irrelevant to the topic at hand. In fact, hands are more relevant to the topic at hand. There we go. That's an R, baby. Because I remember one time, I guess because I'm still thinking about Charles Manson, because it's one of those things where it's like when you try your best not to think about something, you just keep thinking about it. You gotta replace it with something else in order to think about something else. Like, that's the trick of it, is you think of a different thing. However, I've yet to come up with that different thing. One time I remember I visited California, and the person who was showing me around was like, oh, just offhandedly, like, pointed out in, like, a direction. It was like, that's where Charlie Manson was doing his stuff. Just apropos of nothing. Just like, oh, that's over there is where that was happening. It's like, oh, okay. And we moved on with the conversation. And then the next year, I have gone out there again. And a completely different person did the exact same thing. And I found that really funny. Because that person hadn't been present. Those two people knew each other, but they hadn't been present when the other person did it. Just two different people being like, that's where Charles Manson was doing his stuff. I think they both, like, phrased it as... No, I think one of them was like, that's where Charlie Manson was doing his thing, and the other one was just straight up like, that's where, like, the cult was. Let's see here. What's something else I can think about other than that? What's something cooler? Maybe. I mean, the other thing I keep thinking about is the X-Men episode I watched yesterday, but once again, I don't want to do any spoilers for something that's, you know, pretty... Whoop! That's on the wrong layer. Pretty recent. It's not the most recent episode, the one I watched. I'm still technically behind on that. But episode 5 was so goddamn good. They made it to appeal to me specifically. It's like, hey, what if we took your favorite character and your other favorite character, like your favorite character that that character has a dynamic with, and then we just sort of put them together in this fun little situation that's like an homage to some of your favorite movies? How about that? And I'm like, holy shit, thank you very much. Yum yum, I'm eating good. I love when a media just sort of like appeals to me specifically. It's very nice of like every writer, whenever they do that, to bear me specifically in mind when they do that. It's very nice of them to be like, we need to make sure that Mack's having a good time. And then when they're writing something that doesn't appeal to me specifically, they're like, we need to make sure they have a bad time. So kind of Gooseworks to do this for me, yeah. Oh god, I love Jax. I also love the rest of the show. Obviously. I'm just still so fucking hyped that it was real, you know? I was thinking earlier today about, like, my OCs in relation to that. I'm like, oh my god, one of my OCs is very Jax-coded. And I know that if she watched The Amazing Digital Circus, she would be like, haha, she's just like me for real. And then episode 9 would hit, and she'd be like, oh god, she's just like me for real. And then not talk to anybody for 24 hours. It's like, I need to draw that. Digital Circus is one of those moments where it's like, really makes me see how other people engage with media, and makes me very confused. What do y'all mean y'all don't like characters if they're not good people? They're good characters. They're supposed to be good characters, not good people. What? Part of me wonders if, like, part of it is, I wonder if it's, people struggling, people wanting to not be seen as, like, I don't want to make this a generational thing, necessarily. But, like, speaking from experience, you know, I grew up, like, a bit too late for, you know, your Breaking Bads and stuff. And, you know, it's sort of like I feel like people around my age, at least, like, growing up in the spheres online I did, people making fun of people who idolized Walter White. Which, once again, I mean, I do think people should a little bit there. Because it's like, you know, that guy sucks, right? But he's a great character, at least from what I've heard. I haven't seen the show, but from, like, all the Like, I've seen people talking about the show, I've seen people analyzing it. He seems like a great character. I don't think the show would be as popular as it is if he wasn't. You just shouldn't be, like, putting him on a pedestal and being like, oh my god, I want to be like that, you know? And part of me wonders if, like, people maybe, like, grew up seeing people making fun of people, for idolizing characters like Walter White or Patrick Bateman, Joker types like that, and they're like, I need to make sure I don't like any characters that do bad things. Because there's so many pieces of media that have, like, characters who are doing bad shit, and then, like, people will treat that as if that's a flaw of the media itself? Or, like, that it's, like, a bad decision to make? Or, like, that character is a bad character because they're a bad person? I don't know, I don't think I ever got over how upset I was about the mouthwashing fandom. I'm gonna be so real. I'm like, what the hell, guys? Yeah, Jimmy sucks, that's the plot. Why are you guys acting like this about that, though? It is odd seeing what people, or I guess maybe not odd, fascinating is the right word I think here. Of, like, seeing what it is that characters can do that make people dislike them. Because different people have different limits for characters, right? A character being mean tends to make people like them less than, like, a character committing murder, you know? And I think to some extent, like, that makes sense, right? Like, if a character kills another character, that doesn't really affect you. And chances are you likely don't know somebody who was murdered in real life. You may. It's not impossible, but it's far more likely you've experienced somebody being mean to you in real life than you have somebody... Like, even if you've experienced somebody else get murdered, you've likely yourself not been murdered. Maybe somebody attempted a murder on you at some point. But likely not. It's a very small chance. It's not impossible, but it is small. And once again, far more likely somebody is mean to you. So I think, like, when a character is mean, people have, like, a bigger reaction to it because they know what that feels like, rather than a character that murders people. Because, like, I think that's a fascinating thing. For instance, like, if we talk about Batman villains here for a second, if we talk about the Joker, we're gonna set aside Joker culture and that kind of stuff. That's not gonna be relevant to the discussion. Talking about the Joker here, he's a funny little man who commits goofy-themed crimes, right? He's a silly, goofy guy is his shtick. But, you know, he's also fucked up. However, people don't, in my circles at the very least, talking about sort of, I suppose, leftist circles, really. Talking about, like, I'm surrounded by a bunch of they-thems with blue hair, you know? predominantly white as well. I'm aware. I'm on Tumblr. I'm on Tumblr as my main source of seeing fandom. And people seeing these guys just like... people disliking the Joker more than they do other Batman villains. And I think it's mostly because the Joker is canonically an abusive boyfriend towards Harley. I think if that wasn't an aspect of him, I think more people would either like him or hate him less, rather, you know? And on a personal level, I can sort of get that, right? I don't know, I was talking about this the other day, with a friend. I don't know why I said that. I was talking about it with Lee. I think I was like, I always say I was talking about stuff with Lee, but that's because I talk about stuff with Lee a lot. It's almost like we live together or something. But, how I think it's important to have, like, two views of a character. Where it's like, on one level is how you feel about them on a personal level, and the other level is how you feel about them as a character. And keeping those emotions separate. Because you can see a character and, like, it's like, this character does a bad thing. And I'm like, oh no, they did a bad thing on an emotional level. I dislike that they did that. However, on a character level, that was really cool that they did that. It really helps explore them, and it makes them more interesting. So while I may not personally enjoy that they did that, I am nonetheless intrigued, and I think that it adds to them more. And I would like to unpack this. Whereas if you let that, I dislike this thing, overrun that, you may be like, this character is a bad character because they did something that makes me feel bad. And it's not necessarily really a bad thing if you find that a difficult thing to do. It's a skill that you've gotta sort of grow into. I mean, there's like some characters that I got in from like media I got into before I had that distinction, that it's like I still have a bit of a lingering resentment towards that character, even though I know objectively that that is not based in how well they're written or whatever. I'm talking about Nagito Komaeda. I feel like I have personal beef with him. I would need to either rewatch somebody play or replay myself. I guess technically I've only ever seen playthroughs. I own the Danganronpa games. I've not actually played them though yet. And it's been a long while since I like saw them for the first time. It's one of those things, I consider playing it on stream, but they're just very long games, you know? I think it'd be fun to do that with other people. You know? So I'm not just sitting there voicing a dwindling cast of... let's see here. It's 15 plus Monokuma 16 characters. I was like, there's 15 of them. Why did my brain say 16? Monokuma. And you know, all that. That'd be fun. But also, they're just very long games. That would be a hell of a commitment for myself and then potentially other people if I roped them into it. Are these arms different sizes? Like thicknesses? Let me see here. Just put this one on another layer. Rotation. Oh no, they're actually pretty similar. I think it's like slightly longer, but I don't really care about the length as much. I wanted to make sure they were the same thickness, but that's... Huh. For some reason, this one just looks so much thicker to me. I guess it is because of the elbow. Anyway, yeah, so as I was talking about characters. Because I'm at a point in, like, character stuff where I tend to really like more complex characters who deal with a lot. Those tend to be characters who do really bad things. And once again, it's a skill that you gotta learn to separate your personal disgust for an action versus like a character doing that action, you know? And if you don't want to be doing that, if you want characters, you know, even if like, that doesn't mean that you have to like a character if they do something bad. I'm not saying that. I just think maybe getting into media of characters doing bad things, the media, and then being like, why are these characters doing bad things? I feel like that's more a you problem. Like, I think you sort of, like, I appreciate you branching out, but I'm sorry that it's not sunshine and rainbows in the blood and guts sphere. I'm sorry you wanted a found family. This is not what that is. And it just annoys me when people sort of try and force that kind of dynamic into a story that isn't that. And it's like, I can sort of get that on some level. Like, I'm down for a fix-it fic. I'm down for AUs where things are happy. But when that's like 99% of the fandom, when that's like all the posts I'm seeing are AUs where everyone is happy, that does annoy me a bit. God, I always forget to give characters eyebrows. God damn it. But anyway, yeah. I don't dislike it as much for... I want to be clear, because I was talking about Amazing Digital Circus. I'm more fine with, like, the fix-it AUs being as prevalent as they are for this one. I understand that. It's more of, like, a wish fulfillment thing. Plus, it doesn't clash as badly with the tone. When I was saying that, I was still thinking about, like, in its heyday, mouthwashing. That fandom annoyed me so much, I'm not gonna lie. Like, what if Jimmy wasn't there? Okay, we wouldn't have a goddamn story. On the wrong layer. Okay, double checking. Are all my layers correct now? God damn it, what happened there? Okay, well, I can't fix that one. This bluey bit. Well, whatever. Let's go back to the green here. You rat bastard. You know, I don't bring this up that much. I really like my sub badge. I haven't looked at it in a while. I think I did good with that. Funny little paw pads. I haven't paid attention to it in a while. A lot of like my like original stuff I did when I first started streaming, I'm like, maybe this hasn't aged the best. I think that works. Sorry, that hand just turned out so bad immediately. That finger. My evil finger. My nefarious finger. Like in fucking, Substance. God, I have the current playlist we have on right now is what's this called? Deltarune Lo-Fi Beats to Relax / Study To. This is by Death Zach. And it just this like this I can't focus on this one. Doing the fucking Third Sanctuary on me. That's not I can't relax to Third Sanctuary. It's a song that makes me go like, huh. That's the emotion it inspires in me. It makes me which is an emotion that I would not describe as relaxed. No matter how funky a groove it may have behind it. I guess I ought to put more effort into this hand, actually, because this is going to be sort of a focal point. A sort of focal point. And I have another point for you, chat, and it's not the point this finger is doing. It's the point that there's going to be ads. I sort of fumbled at the end there, but hey. If you need to go to the bathroom or grab a snack or get something to drink, now is going to be a great time to do so. This is also your hourly self-care check-in, so be sure to fix your posture, take your meds, save your files, feed your pets, charge your devices, do some stretches, make sure you're taking care of yourself. I bonked my elbow on the table, but I didn't hit any nerves. So it just made a noise and I didn't feel anything. It's very lucky for an elbow bonk. Those can go incredibly badly. Like, top types of bonk that you can do to yourself that have the potential for things to go incredibly wrong, you know? Lovely. I think that hand turned out pretty well. I think I might need to make it a bit bigger, but let's see. Is that... It's like your hand is like the size of your face, pretty much. Here, I can just take... I think this is the only... Yeah, if those fingers were extended, that'd be... I do also wonder if I should be making the forehead a bit taller. Because technically, you know... I think I feel like I always do foreheads a little too small. But there is going to be hair, so I'm not going to worry about that as much. I'll just leave it like that, and I'll keep in mind when I do the hair to maybe move it up a bit. Like, I'll maybe, like, put the hairline here, you know? Implying that there's more, and it goes there. Do I want to do the butterfly now, or... Let me put this on another layer as well here. Are the eyes looking at the... I might have to... Let's see here. There we go. Yeah, I think that works. Now I have to look up what butterflies look like. Da-da-da-da. Where's my water? There's my water. I found it. That shit's easy. I don't know what that gator from those old mobile games was talking about. Alright, let's see here. Let me look up butterflies. I don't know what kind of butterfly to go with, but I suppose it's mostly going to be in the color of it, isn't it? I almost looked up butlerfly. What if you had a fly for a butler? It was just like a little housefly, but it was wearing a little suit. Die, AI images. Die. Die. I'll kill you. I changed my settings to get rid of those. Do I... Oh my god, I have to change it. Okay. I only got rid of them, apparently, on the computer. I have to change them on my settings on my phone as well. Pasta water. Oh, I have to install the goddamn... Oh my goodness. Wait, can I not fucking... Ugh! Okay. So if I want to get the fucking no AI DuckDuckGo in Firefox on an Android, I can't, because I have to install a fucking thing. Okay, no wait, I think that got rid of most of it still, at the very least. Oh, that's better. I think there's still a couple of AI images here, but it's not as bad as it was. Let me go to Wikipedia. I trust Wikipedia. Okay, what kind of butterfly wings do I want? I mean, I guess I'll just go for like the default thing there. Got gifted a sub here, nice. Yeah! Thank you for following. It's always funny to me when it's like, it always happens, I think, when it just happens of a gift sub moment to somebody who doesn't follow. Because I've been there myself. I've gotten gifted subs to people that I'm like, I don't know who that is. Or it's like, I think somebody raided somebody else while I was away from my computer, so technically I have watch time there. That kind of thing. It's always neat. It's like, oh. Yeah, this is happening now. Sure! It's a fun little moment. I'm trying to figure out what butterflies look like. They have legs. 6 of them, I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'll only draw 3. That's how art works. You can do many things. But antennae actually go that way, I think. I kept drawing them going that way. I think they go this way. I'm learning. I'm growing. Okay. What? I almost said, what are butterflies? I know what butterflies are. They're little buggies. So I want to draw the little proboscis. Proboscis? Probopass? I think the Probopass is an option, but I might not go with that. I hear people pronounce that word differently every single time I hear people say that word. So I have no clue how it's actually supposed to be pronounced, or if it's like one of those words where multiple pronunciations are correct. Which honestly feels a bit like a cop-out. Okay. And then this bottom wing, like that, then a long bit here, and this is sort of fanned a bit. How does that look? Whoop! I zoomed out a bit too much. I don't know, I might go for the more simplified version I had. I don't dislike my just sort of... Jesus, what the heck? Oh my goodness. 75 stream streakly. That's so many. That's 3/4 of 100. Too many. I truly feel like every time you need to miss more. Great things that you want to hear from your mod. But really, I feel like every stream people are inventing new numbers. When it's like, ah, you've been here for this many streams in a row, and it's like, huh? No. Surely not. The passage of time that's not real to me. In my mind, I'm in this sort of like severance state. It's like every time I start streaming, I'm like, it's like I never left. So how can it be that many? When my life has been one big stream. Macverance. Oh yeah, they're doing another season of it! I'm excited. I saw like people were posting they're doing a third. I'm excited. I hope it's good. I'm so scared that Severance is gonna turn bad. And like, I can see the way that it can go bad. I see it so clearly. I just don't want that to happen. It better stay good. If it doesn't stay good, I will find Ben Stiller myself, personally. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna stick with, like, the very simple butterfly wings. I kept trying to give him details and stuff, but I just don't think that that's the vibe here. Like, do I want the other set to be visible? I don't think so. I think whenever I do the line art for this one, I'm gonna have to do like a really thin brush, which is not something I typically do. But I think that's the vibe of this. I think that's what's been happening as I go through it. This always happens, doesn't it? Where it's like the simpler sketch looks better to you. But that's because it's so simple that it's like your brain fills in the gaps and makes it look better. I do think I am going to do another attempt on it, just in case, though. Try and get it more close to this version. This turned a bit too much into little leaves. I nearly dropped my phone straight on the floor. I forgot it was in my lap. I'm gonna delete that layer now. Let's see. Which of these butterflies looks better? Cool, so that's barely any difference, but I do like the new one better. Just the shape of it's a bit nicer, you know? Like, it feels less actually like a butterfly, but the shape of it just feels good. That's what you gotta lean into sometimes. Alright, let's see here. I think it's... Yes? I guess... Alright, let me take a moment here. Of getting the references pulled in a good way back up, because I haven't actually saved this file in a while. And I need the references to be up there, because then those will impact the, my sub-view. See, for instance, now this is here. Oops, that's the wrong thing. Okay, let's actually give this character some hair and clothes and a tail now, shall we? Alright, let's start off with... I think I'm gonna merge all these layers. Let's go to the... We'll go back to this blue. Guess we'll start off with some hair. Do we think? Let's see here. So I was just taking this as shading for a second, but do we think Mink actually has these, bits in her hair? It's in some, but I think it's just in that one that those exist. But it's a fun parallel to Lennox. They don't necessarily need to have that. Ooh, here's a good question, maybe? Let's see here. Let's move this over to the side, because this one has these colors over here. Let me take this light blue that isn't present in this one. Let me take it over to this drawing. That's the same light blue? That's what that is, then. It is also technically the highlight color in the eyes. Okay, maybe then. Maybe. I'll see what looks better when I do the color. That's a problem for future Mac. Current Mac's problem is giving her hair at all. Da-da-da. Let's get some hair on. Me when I'm struggling to remember the name of a bird, but I want to remember. It's a joke about herons. That's how comedy works, right? Is you have to call out explicitly what you're talking about. The joke you're making. Just in case people don't get it. Which of these hairs am I gonna look at for reference more? I mean, they're pretty much the same. I think I'm gonna focus on this one because the blue makes it a bit easier to see. It's like we're gonna have the part here, I think, about above the eye. This swoops. I love a character with a big hair swoop. Swoop. I want that going over the eye a little bit. I don't think so. I really like the shape of this hair. I've been drawing a lot of characters with this hair shape sort of thing lately, I think. Where it's sort of, I guess, layered like this a little bit. And it's got these big swoopuses. I don't know, I was doing this with Gelt yesterday. And I did a similar thing when I was drawing Clyde a bit ago. I ought to get myself a character. I ought to get myself an OC with these, with a similar thingy. I guess Claire sort of does. But Claire's hairs... she's got like a bigger... Okay, let me zoom in on this one again. I think I am making the mistake of this character's facing the other way. Okay. Something to this effect. let's vibe a shape here first. So I want this big floofy a bit. Reminds me a little of, I was gonna say a character, but that's a character that's either a compliment, a call-out, or a deep insult. Or a coincidence. Could always be a coincidence. Just the compliment's very low. Feels more like a call-out or an insult. But I like it. I was gonna say this hair reminds me of Adrian Agreste from Miraculous Ladybug. Which she doesn't even really look like. But the way that I'm drawing it reminds me of a similar feeling. You sort of see it? Yeah. It's the vibe. Like, I want this hair to go up, but it feels weird. I think I need to have some, like, over on this side maybe a bit more. Let me get rid of, like, this line here. Maybe the hair doesn't go up as much as I was making it go up. I was about to say, man, I should catch up on Miraculous Ladybug. I don't think I should, actually. I haven't watched it in a long while. It was one of those things where it's like, I sort of fell off of it, and then I would just like see what fans were saying about it. I don't think that's something that's like a pressing issue. Shows went through a whole art style change? Yeah, like that I find interesting. Like the changes they made and the changes they didn't make. Because I know they did that whole thing. It's still a little odd to me, but... I mean, it looks better. Which isn't... I don't want to say it's not saying much, given what it used to look like, you know? It used to be, it would have its moments, the old... When it was animated by that one studio, it would look really good, and then every other studio that animated it, oh boy. Get 8 years to do one story arc, yeah. Truly, I remember when I was watching that show, being like, oh my god, I'm like the same age as Marinette. And I'm just like, oh my fucking god, this fucking show. Like, I feel like this is a show that most of the fandom, like the people who are still in it from the beginning, are more so in like for like a hostage situation, you know? I think they're just like sunk cost fallacy. They have to. Because I don't know if I've seen anybody being like incredibly positive towards it in a long time. It's Stockholm at this point, yeah. Where it's just like, oh no. Like, some of the things that they've done are interesting. If only the rest of it was good. And unfortunately, it's been like that since the beginning, because I was there. I remember watching, like, season 1 was coming out, you know? Being like, oh shit, this thing seems really interesting. The premise of it? The love square? The love square is genuinely one of the coolest things And I think more shows should do it. I love identity shenanigans. I'm just like, holy shit, that rules. Down that hole too and fell out of it within 2 years, yeah. I was into it for like the first couple of seasons, I think. And then it was just like I couldn't keep up with it anymore, you know? Because it also, like, the way that it would be releasing would be so fucked up. Or it'd be like, okay, the newest episode is not coming out, because it's originally French. Sometimes it'd be like, you know, most of the time it'd be like, okay, if you want to watch it now, you gotta watch the French version, but sometimes it'd be like, oh, it came out first in Brazil for some reason, so you gotta go to a different thing. You're like, oh, okay, this one came out for some reason in a different country, so you gotta go over here. And it's like, what the fuck is happening? How does this happen to a show? Like, this one isn't even queer, so it's like, it's not even, you know, they're not doing a Steven Universe to it. Like, there are some queer characters, but they didn't exist at that point, and they weren't big enough to do that. Yeah, the distribution is insanely stupid, yeah. I may just have to be happy with this hair. I forget exactly when I fell off. I remember, like, a big thing of it for me was, when the whole Chloe thing happened. As in, like, they set up, like, one of the seasons to be, like, really heavily implying that Chloe was going to get redeemed. And then, like, in the final episode, they did a complete 180. And it's like, if you don't want to redeem her, that's fine. Why did you set it up like you were going to? For so long. And then not even give her a good reason for her to... And after that they made her worse to justify it? Yeah. It really felt like the writers just disliked her. It feels like Thomas Astruc was fucking probably bullied by a rich blonde white girl and hasn't let that go, is the vibe that she gives off to me. Don't even get me started on Lila. It's truly show of all time. The thing is, when it's good, it's really good. Once again, the entire concept of the love square fucking rules. You did hate Chloe for some reason. Oh, Chloe's more irredeemable than Lila. Fucking... Lila's crazy. She just says the most bullshit. Because the thing about her character is that she lies. That's her thing. Oh my god, her name is Lila and she lies, wow. But it's the most unbelievable thing every time. You don't need to write her to be a super genius or whatever. She should just say, like, literally anything that isn't the most obvious bullshit in the world? You know? She could, like, say anything that makes sense. There's so many just character moments where, like, it's a show where people hold the idiot ball a lot. Fell that by the time season 5 ended and the style change stopped caring when Disney banned airing the ones with queer shit in it. They fucking... Of course they did. I think I fell off, like, the season before, so I guess... I think I watched season 3, but then I never ended up watching season 4. I was like, oh, I'll get to that later, and I never did. But I like, was watching, fan reactions to episodes as they came out for most of it. I haven't been doing that as much with season 5. And, like, if they make their way onto my dashboard on Tumblr, I'll look at those posts, sure. But otherwise, I'm not gonna seek it out. God forbid a gay couple gets confirmed and then kiss. Oh yeah, was that, Rose and Juleka? Was that? I remember hearing various stuff about that. Not just them, Nathaniel and Mark, you think? Yeah. Remember that one was also implied. I forget if this was just a popular headcanon or if it was canon Mark being non-binary. If that is true, that's pretty epic. If that's a popular headcanon, then that's also fun, but you know. It'd be cool if the show was good, you know? It'd be so good if it was good. It has so many, like, elements of it that I think would be really good if it was good. That's why I think a lot of people are still into it. That's, like, some of the most compelling media. Is, like, when something is really good, it's like, okay, and then it already did it. I don't really bring much to it. I can think about it, but that's done. When something has the potential to be good, and then it drops the ball, it just embeds itself into your brain. It just makes you go like, oh my god, I can fix it. I can see the potential that it had. Why didn't they do it? And it just keeps you up at night. If it had a showrunner who knew what the fuck they were doing, it would be really great, but to you, the way it has been is just a train wreck. Yeah. Yeah. Can only watch a train wreck before you're bored of it? Yeah. I think if it had ended by now, I'd still be more into it, you know? But it just keeps going. It's been a train wreck for too long. Eventually, it's like, okay, the train is still wrecking. It's still going. It's like, okay, damn. When I was watching this crash and burn in the first place, I couldn't look away, and then it was like, I could start glancing away, and it was like, is this really happening? Is that... It was like, okay, I mean, this has been happening for a while. I can't just stand here this whole time. I'm gonna go and, like, get a snack. Maybe occasionally I'll, like, check and be like, is the train still crashing? Yeah? That's a shame. It's barely- season 6 is barely finishing up right now, god damn. It's been, what, 2 years? What the fuck? I wish the concept of the love square was more in more things. Because it is such a good fucking concept. Of, you have two superheroes. They don't know each other's identity. One of them has a crush on the civilian, the other one has a crush on the superhero. The immediate dynamics that bring? That's so fun! And it's like, and you got such a stupid concept, but you can't say it wasn't enjoyable, yeah. And it's like, that could be fun in better hands. All of these cool, different superheroes, like, as a concept, that's fun. As like, oh, this character's power is like, good luck and stuff, and this one has, like, bad luck stuff because they're a black cat and a ladybug. That's fun. Like, oh, these are little fun little moments or whatever, but hey, it'd be fun if they, like, did them good. It'd be so good if it was good. If it was good, it would be so good. Yeah, this goes up higher on the shoulder. I've been drawing this too low. That's what I thought. They would just keep doing things. You'd watch it just keep tripping over everything. The show isn't even laughably bad, yeah. You can't even laugh anymore, exactly. Because it's just like, oh, we're just doing this. It's like, oh, this wasn't a fake- this train didn't crash, like, by accident. Y'all thought that this is how trains worked. When they ended up, like, making every single character in their goddamn class a superhero, it's just like, oh god. And there are still a couple of, like, good elements in the later ones. I'm mostly just thinking about the Sentimonster plot twist. Do I care about spoiling it? Nah, probably not really. The whole, like, Adrian Sentimonster thing is pretty fucking cool. I like that. I like all of the horror that happens to Adrian. Now, and if that was in a good show, that would be handled so- it could be handled so cool. Unfortunately, it's in Miraculous Ladybug. Normally I feel always, like, a little bit bad when talking about media that I know people like. I think Miraculous Ladybug fans know, so I don't feel. I've never met a Miraculous Ladybug fan who said that the show was good. You know, after, like, season 1. You got into it because you hated it. That's so real. Ah, what is it about bad media? And it's like, if it didn't have anything good in it, then it'd just be whatever. It has just enough to sink its hooks into you. And that always pisses me off. I'm the original Star Walker. Do I even like how I drew this cloak? Might redo this again. I can keep the collar's fine. There are so many things like that. I try not to, like, do them as much anymore. But it's good to have a couple in your brain, I think. A couple of pieces of media that just fascinate you despite being so bad. That just have just enough to get their hooks into you. Just enough to make you go, oh my god, this could be good. And then they're not. Everybody should have at least one, I think. Whether that's Miraculous Ladybug, the fucking MCU, fucking Glee, Whatever it is, you gotta have at least one. That'll make your brain go, oh my god, what if it was good? There's also So Bad It's Bad, but I still like it for some reason. Yeah, there's sometimes where it's like, oh my god, this is crazy, what the hell? But it loops right back around. I've seen people who do, movies, like, ranking scales, where they'll have, like, you know, your standard 1 to 10, but then also have -10, like, it'll go all the way to, like, from -10 to 10. And it's like, once they are in the negative, it starts getting into the so bad it's good, like, zone. Where it's like, what the fuck is even happening anymore? I can't stop watching, though. Maybe one day you'll sink your teeth into Miraculous because it's been 5 years since you got into it and low-key missed the days you were into it so hard. Yeah, I didn't realize how much sort of nostalgia I had for that until I started talking about it right now. Maybe I'll wait until it's over, assuming that it ends at any point. What if Miraculous was the next One Piece? God, that would... Ugh. Not sure if you're ready yet, maybe after Season 6 wraps up. That sounds... yeah. That sounds more reasonable. Hopefully it's easier to watch. You don't have to go on to fucking... checking out what Goop is doing. I think that was the name of the fucking company. Because it was something weird like that. The other examples I gave during there are also ones that are true for me of the MCU and Glee. I've fully given up on the MCU. I had like a little bit of a moment of like, this could be so good if it was good, but I didn't realize that at the time. But that's what I was doing. And I think like after Endgame happened, I was like, oh, it's been bad for a really long time. That's clicking for me now. Well, I'm glad I realized that so I can stop being emotionally invested in this, and then I just haven't cared about it since. And then, Glee is truly... I watched that for the first time, I think, in 2022 or 2023. Somewhere around there, maybe. So I didn't have any sort of nostalgia blinders for it. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna watch this show that I've heard incredibly mixed things on. And truly, it has moments where it's like incredibly good and moments where it's like, what the fuck am I watching right now? It has some of the best moments in television history and some of the worst. Yeah, I like this cloak more. Good. Do I want to go ahead and... I can sketch in the pattern, I think. That's sort of like a... this bit at the end. A big solid blue. Terrified of revisiting Riverdale. Not going down that hole again. Oof. Yeah, I didn't get into that one personally, but I can understand that. I've seen a couple of video essays about that. Granted, that's how I started with Glee, is I think I was watching video essays about it like, huh, well, I gotta see for myself if it is what they say it is. And it was all that and so much more. MCU had a lot of problems that are common to the superhero genre, and it didn't really try to address them. Yeah. Was that plus, like, making a lot of... You know what? Yeah, problems to the superhero genre, including the fact that, like, different writers are writing the same characters with different personalities, and it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Can you choose a fucking thing? Where it's like, then you just, like, you see, like, one writer was on a thing, and you're like, I'm not engaging with that at all. I'm not reading something made by fucking Tim Seeley. I think everybody who's into comics should have a personal comic writer nemesis. It can't be Rob Liefeld. We'd all choose Rob Liefeld if he was on the table. I'm gonna assume that this is a repeating pattern. Oh god, Liefeld. I learned the other day that Rob Liefeld has a podcast. I haven't listened to it, but I was looking him up to fact check something, and I found a link to his podcast called Robservations with Rob Liefeld. And I was losing my mind scrolling through the fucking podcast app that came pre-installed with my device that I didn't realize that I had. What the hell, everyone has a podcast at this point. I was just looking at it like, what the fuck is happening? Rob Liefeld knows what podcasts are? Then again, he does seem like the type of guy to listen to Joe Rogan, so he probably does. He probably does, I say, actively talking about the fact that he hosts one. Just truly wild. Just truly wild. Ken Pender's podcast went. Every comic book writer, regardless of quality, should have one. I think that would be really funny. Every comic writer should show up on Robservations with Robert Liefeld. Every single one, dead or alive. He somehow brings Stan Lee back from the grave just to, like, interview him. You know? That kind of thing. God. Whenever I think of, like, Rob Liefeld and Stan Lee at the same time, my mind goes back to, there's this video that, like, Stan Lee was hosting. That was sort of like here's how you draw comics, or something like that. Where, it was Rob Liefeld and another artist, I forget who. But, just Stan Lee was like, okay, we're gonna have Rob here, draw a brand new character for us. He's gonna just sort of think of stuff off the dome and come up with a character. And Rob Liefeld just straight up, he just makes Cable again. He just does Cable again, but, like, to the left. He does slightly different Cable, as he is wont to do. And it's like, okay, bud. You already were ripping off the Terminator when you made Cable. You just keep doing it. He knows how to make one character. And that's Grizzled Man. It worked before, just do it again, and again, and again, and again. He loves to be like, I made Deadpool, you made a boring-ass man, and somebody else was like, what if we give him a fun personality? An arguably fun personality, depending on the version of Deadpool. Deadpool is one of those characters that it's like, it's dangerous to have that as one of your favorites, like I do. Because some of the time, like half of the time, he's just the most annoying piece of shit and I hate him. But when he's good, he's good. smoking causes coughing. I've not heard of that. I mean, I've heard of that in real life. Not as a movie. Truly, what a man Rob Liefeld is. He's such an interesting... Because I remember I also, like, found, like, a blog post he had done at some point. Right, yes, I remember what it was. Because one of the characters that he made... it's an independent French film, uses the superheroes as a framing device, it's weird. Huh. One of the... one of the characters that he made is, I believe his name is Shatterstar, the son of Longshot. And it's truly... Because, like, in a later thing, a later comic writer made him queer, Shatterstar. They, like, gave him a boyfriend. And Rob Liefeld didn't like that. It was really funny going that. Are we talking about Robservations? We were talking about that earlier. I'm talking about his, I'm talking about Shatterstar now. That is the name of the character, right? Longshot's son. What a fucking world we live in. We're talking about comics. This guy named Longshot, this is his son Shatterstar. Insane. Yeah, okay. Richter and Shatterstar. Richter's his boyfriend. That's it. I had no clue what his boyfriend's name was. But just finding that old blog post of him being like, well, I didn't write him that way, but just like a bunch of people, this seems like late, I forget when it was this like late 2000s, early 2010s, where it's like not unpopular to be homophobic, but it's less popular to be homophobic. It's more things of like, you just gotta couch your language a bit. He has earthquake powers, of course he does. Named Richter. Unless you're saying Shatterstar has earthquake powers, in which case that's hilarious. But... just a bunch of people being like, well, I don't... You know, I'm not homophobic, but... it's just a choice that I wouldn't make. I just don't see that Shatterstar as being queer. I just don't see it. It's not like I'm fine with gay, but this character I just don't want to be. It would have to be it would be a different one. It's like, y'all calm the fuck down. Who gives a fuck about Shatterstar? Truly, like, show of hands, who here knows who Shatterstar is? Like, calm the fuck down. You haven't been writing this guy in forever. God forbid we give him a personality. You're biased, so yeah. But it's like, if you go up to somebody and you're like, name some characters, they're not gonna know who the fuck Shatterstar is. Keep thinking of an acquaintance called Smattered Stars. Well, unless Rob Liefeld made them too, I don't think. But it's not impossible. The world is full of possibility. There are many options. We never know who among us could have been made by Rob Liefeld. It's a scary prospect, I know. Wow. Rob Liefeld, man that he is. That's why I was trying to remember why I was, like, on his blog. It was because, apparently he was upset about his characters not being in X-Men 97. It's like, calm the fuck down. Hope somewhere in the depths of Robservations he talks about being a sperm donor, so we're all technically in danger. But there's Cable, that's enough, yeah. One Cable is enough Cable, right? We don't need all those other fuckos. A well-written Cable is all we need. And most of the time we don't get that, but luckily in X-Men 97 we do. Cable is truly one of the most boring characters in the world to me. We don't need skinny Cable, and blonde Cable, and black Cable, and woman Cable. One is enough, exactly. Rob Liefeld does not know how to make that many characters. He knows how to make Cable, and he knows how to make Cable, but that's actually a sexy woman. But it's just Cable again, but, like, drawn as a sexy woman. And that's Rob Liefeld's characters. And Cable X Domino is basically self-obsessed. And once again, Cable is pretty much just the Terminator. But if he was a good guy. So I get Terminator and Terminator 2. You know? Can't teach an old dog new tricks, or in this case a hack, yeah. So I think one of the things he claimed when talking about, like, oh, they didn't want to use my characters in this show because then they would have to pay me more money. And it's like, is that how comics works? Is that how comics works? God, I feel like it immediately started storming outside as soon as I said that. Did Rob Liefeld send a goon to get me? With, like, water powers? It's probably been doing that for a while and I just haven't noticed. He's cursed me. Rob Liefeld personally. Apparently he does, in fact, know Storm from writing and drawing X-Men shit for so long. Who would drive back the Liefeld? I will say really quick, I know a lot of us got gifted, a lot of us got gifted subs from Orphan earlier, so this doesn't actually affect a lot of us here, but just so everybody's aware, an ad break is about to happen. So this is still a good moment and a reminder to go to the bathroom or grab a snack or get something to drink, even if you're not getting the ads. But that's your reminder to do that, if you haven't done that in a while. It's also your reminder to fix your posture, take your meds, save your files. I started saying figure files, fix your posture and save your files at the same time. Anyway, unclench your jaw, do some stretches, feed your pets, charge your devices, anything like that. That's your reminder to do that, alright? The Robsbane. I've been trying to figure out what that fuck that word was. I kept reading that as, like, in my mind, like, Robesbane? With the wrong sound of an O. Robsbane. We're talking about Rob Liefeld. Okay, now we gotta give this character a big fuck-ass tail. We've gotten the main body of her done. Wolfsbane reference, not that one. Yeah. You know, I did the because I was like, you were talking about the character Wolfsbane. And I was like, wait, because I thought you were talking about the plant / the thing that is scary to werewolves. And then I read it again, I'm like, oh no, you're saying you're not referring to the character. I'm doing great at reading comprehension. But yeah, going back to the thing, not Ben Grimm, nor John Carpenter, but going back to the thing that we were talking about earlier, I don't think that that's how that works. I don't work in comics. I don't think that the people who made the original characters get paid every single goddamn time that those characters are used. Otherwise, I feel like a lot more comic authors would be really rich. Granted, they could be paid per time that character shows up. However, like, it could be like a little bit. But it's like, I feel like if that were the case, things would be pretty different. I feel like there would be less characters. Or there would be way more of just people trying to shoot their shot and be like, maybe this guy'll catch on. Which, to be fair, there are a lot of characters that I'm sure are like that. Where somebody's like, I hope my character makes it big. But more so, like, monetarily driven. Okay, I did the tail like this before. I might edit it a bit, maybe? Let me see how big the tail is in this one. Let me get another layer here. So this is like the front bit of leg. Nice fluffy, yeah. Okay, so how many of these, how many half of leg long is tail? It looks like about 4. About 4 seems to be right. I don't think it needs to be exact, but I think a good vibe of it, you know? So now let's do that over here as well. And then copy paste. Ah! Now why are you over there? Who are you? Be gone with you. I'm so worried about... I guess I'm not too worried about it, because I started thinking about the MCU again, since we were talking earlier about things that would be so good if they were good. I'm incredibly... Once again, not really. I'm not emotionally invested in it. I think I'm just preparing myself for the train wreck that it will be. More so curious about how they're going to fuck up Doomsday. You know? I'm just like, what are they gonna do about that? How is that going to work out for them? Is it gonna flop? I mean, I've been sort of hoping for a long while now that each movie will be, like, flopping severely. So hyped to see the people with hope screaming on Tumblr and selfishly for Scott Summers gift sets. Yeah. There's like a bajillion characters in it, though. You know, if anybody from the X-Men gets screen time, it's gonna be Wolverine and maybe a little bit of Charles. Scott's gonna get less screen time than he did in the original X-Men series, and that's saying something. The original X-Men movies. He's gonna get maybe 2 lines. Endgame was already bloated. Don't get me started on the X-Men movies. Some of them are good. And some of them have good moments. After they reboot the timeline, there's nothing good anymore, but, you know? Yeah, me and Lee rewatched / watched for the first time in a couple of cases. All of them, like, I think last year. And boy oh boy, you don't know what you have till you lose it, you know? You're watching those first ones and you're like, this isn't bad. And then by the end of it, you're like, I wish I was watching the first ones again. What the fuck is happening? Decided to watch them all for Xmas in chronological order, so first class first. Oh boy, that's a fun way of doing it. That's a hilarious way of doing it. Oh my god. At least then you get, maybe a hot take, but you don't think killing one Nazi to prevent World War III is a huge moral cliff jump. Yeah! These movies are so choices. They make some goddamn choices in them. And it's like when people complain about them, they're always like, oh, in the Wolverine, for X-Men Origins Wolverine, it's Deadpool, they didn't do Deadpool right. That's the least of our goddamn problems. That's the least of our— We never fucking saw Mr. Sinister. That is— they set him up at least 3 separate times. Probably more. They were like, and in the next movie, Mr. Sinister's going to be the bad guy. And then they kept hard rebooting the series. Every single time they were like, Mr. Sinister's gonna be in the next movie. Immediately, dead. Franchise, dead. No, you'll never fucking get Mr. Sinister. You'll never see him. Which is maybe good, because he couldn't be ruined. But also it's like, it's Mr. Sinister. I have grown so attached to Mr. Sinister. It's important to remember that this is a character whose name is Mr. Sinister. How the fuck are they gonna handle that? And like, a more serious thing, because when they turn it into live action, of course it has to be more serious. You can't have fun in a superhero movie. No fun allowed. Literally every evil thing was named Essex Corporation, yet you didn't even get to see Sinister came it up. They'd call him Mr. Inister to make it serious, yeah. But in a German accent for Nazis. He's not a Nazi anymore. He did surgery on his brain to remove the part of his brain that was a Nazi. God, comics are so comics. Trying to figure out how fluffy I want the tale to be. They don't even know he removed the part of his brain that made him a Nazi, so you have to forgive him legally now. Yeah. His name is goddamn Mr. Sinister. It'll be one of those situations where I was truly like, how the fuck, when they were like advertising for the Batman, you know, Robert Pattinson Batman. And I was just like, how the fuck are they gonna do a gritty Riddler? It's like, I like that movie. I did not like the Riddler in that movie. I'm like, that's a good villain. I wonder when the Riddler will actually show up. This is just some guy. And it's like, I can see the Riddler as like a 4chan user, as like a 4chan sort of incel, but for intellect and knowledge and Batman. But he didn't have the fun of the Riddler, which is what I like. He needs to be more fun. I don't know why superhero movies are so scared of having fun. People can still take fun things seriously. And at the end of the day, I'd rather watch something be cringe and fun rather than something be, like, incredibly over the top and serious for no goddamn reason. We have to be adults forever, and adults are about sex and crime and grit. Yeah. You can't have a character named Edward Nygma, aka Enigma, and you can't have him dance around in a funny little green suit and be like, "Ooh, answer me my riddles, Batman! Prove to me that you're maybe a modicum as smart as I." No, you have to rename him Nashton, because you can't have him even be named Enigma anymore. And you gotta fucking... The Superman movie was so good. The Superman movie was so good. David Cornsweet? I forget the name of the director. Was it Feige? Or was he just big on it? He could have been a game dev again. He was just a game dev in that fucking one TV show. That's the only time he's been a game dev. At least to my knowledge. Me and Lee were watching a bunch of different versions of TV shows. We do this thing where we'll watch one single episode from a random TV show. Just sort of in the middle of it. Just be like, yeah, let's go for this one. Let's find out. And we ended up watching, I don't even remember which Batman it was. I know that it had a Robin. I can tell you for sure it wasn't, the one with fucking Terry. But yes, the Superman movie was so fucking good. And would you believe it? It had emotional beats. And it was incredibly compelling. And it was silly. People are so scared of silly. Things need to be silly. Animated series, like the ultimate depiction of Batman in a lot of people's eyes. Don't bring the game div up thing at random. A lot of people do like default to that as their Batman canon. You support that? I guess, yeah. I'm fine with that. I just never see people even reference Edward being a fucking game dev. Like, you know, that show redefined who Mr. Freeze is as a character. Much less of an impact on this beautiful little silly. Most of it's saved in the villain department for giving Mr. Freeze his wife backstory and inventing Harley Quinn. Much less Riddler in that regard. I remember being a kid, and I'm playing with my little, with like a Riddler action figure I think I got in like a McDonald's fucking toy thing. Happy Meals, what they were called, I already forgot. Brought it up as a furthering comment, not at random, will stop having fun now. Joking. Yeah, yeah. You can only have the fun that I want you to have. It's me, the creator of superhero movies. You must be serious at all times, unless you are the designated funny character. The designated funny character will have no moments of being serious, unless we bring in a second designated funny character. Otherwise, you're funny every single all the time and cannot have any, like, actual emotional beats. Those are the two ways that you can be, is you can have compelling storytelling and good, or you can be funny. You can't have both. It's me, creator of superhero movie. Batman needs to be serious and gritty. We need to come up with a good reason for him to dress up like a bat and punch people. It's super serious that he does that. How dare you fucking call it silly that he dresses up like a big bat and he goes out at night and he punches people who commit crimes, and he has a best friend who's a little boy and and the little boy's doing cool flips and telling jokes. Assuming it's the first one, there's other ones. And they sort of get less jokey as time goes on. You know, I never sort of realized that until I said it just now. Just, like, the sliding scale of how silly the Robins are. It is pretty... Like, talking about the four main Robins at the very least. They do sort of just get more serious as it goes on, huh? Let me try, like... Nah. I saw somebody who did that in their characters earlier today. I don't think it's my style. I think this one also looks a little weird. This floofers. I then proceeded to continue drawing the same thing over and over again. Actually, no, I did actually do it better. I thought I was drawing the same thing, but no, I was making it bigger and that made it better. In my humble opinion. There we go. That's better. That's better. Well, I sketched one character today. I can get rid of those layers. I can move this one down here. The fuck is on this layer? Is this layer nothing? Yeah, that layer's nothing. I'm deleting it. Oh. Now I can merge those. Now we have that. And now the second character. There's two characters in this image. I've drawn one of them. Let's see how much I can get done on this one before stream is over. Let's get some reference images here. Ba-ba-ba. Bring that down to fully get the antlers in there. I think I'm gonna do what I did before as well here and just sort of get rid of that. Oh, we have a little white border there. Bit. Censoring her. She's banned. No more mink. That's what Wanda Maximoff said. Okay, then we save this. Now we have this over here that we can use. That more transparent there. Helps if you go onto the correct layer. Okay, let's do a circle from you. Let me steal your head size. Okay. Now Lennox here. He's gonna be having a much less good time. He's got a long face. Insert joke about having a bad time / having a long face. Horse walks into a bar type stuff. Most highbrow humor imaginable, I know. Oh, that makes him look like he's smiling. No, no, we can't have that here. You're supposed to be upset. Let me give you... Let's get your eye shape in here. This guy is one that I have to pay a bit more attention to the eye shape of because I'm going to have the darker colored, the sclera. So they're going to stick out a bit more. Need to pay attention to the edges of them. Might make it good. Just fully color them in now so we can see what they look like. I really love this kind of dynamic between characters. It's like the different outlooks on life, the used to be friends but aren't anymore. But still, like, they're like the only people who can really understand each other. But they're at odds. This kind of shit's always wonderful. I love when characters have complex dynamics. They really wish that they didn't. I love a tragedy. That's the mouth that I've been attempting to draw pretty much every time. God. Every time I was drawing a mouth, that's the one I've been trying to get. I could feel it. I knew it was there. It's like, when people are, like, carving stone and they're like, oh, like, the statue was in the stone all the time. I just had to, get it out. That's what I was doing there. That mouth was in me the whole time. I needed to get it out, though. I think the eyes are too big. Let's just start with this one. Oh, that immediately makes it so much better. Oh, the expression turned out so well, I think. Of simultaneously looking like both disgusted but also concerned and confused. Fuck yes. I did it! Being like, that's my friend, but also I don't like what they're doing right now. Fuck yeah. What the hell is happening to— oh, I'm on an eraser! I was like, why am I not? There we go. I'm glad I could get that much done at the very least. Like, y'all see what I was talking about when, like, I kept bringing this one up throughout this month, just being like, man, I wanna do this one so badly, but I wanna get it right. I haven't checked what you look like fully flipped. Yeah, okay, good. You look good. I tend to be alright, like, making things look good when flipped. But, like, the rest of the body just tends to be the face that I fuck up. Didn't realize I hadn't done the ears yet. I tend to do the ears a little earlier for facial proportion reasons. Maybe I wouldn't have drawn the eyes as big if I had. And it is always funny drawing characters like this in, like, the bald phase. You know? They all gotta live through a bald phase in the process of getting drawn. Granted, I guess most people go through a bald phase. It's just called being a baby. But some babies are born with hair, and honestly, that feels fucked up to me. For, like, y'all humans. I feel like y'all should be bald when you're born, with, like, no exception. Then it should be, like, a mystery whether it's going to grow hair at all, you know? What if it's just straight up bald from forever? I don't know. I'm just sort of disgusted, personally, by the idea of something growing within you. For some reason, the idea of it having hair just makes that so much worse, you know? It's like, what if the fucking chestburster from Alien had hair? Right? That'd be fucked up. Especially given that the thing it grows into doesn't have hair. Maybe it got cold, I don't know. It's like, shouldn't it be warm enough in there? Damn, I'm comparing everybody to cartoons now. I'm like, this guy sort of looks a bit like Hordak. Not a lot. I think it's just the black sclera and pointed ears. There's like, lots of characters have those. Mine is just going to Hordak. Oh, Clyde has those, but this guy's... doesn't have these. Let's see here. How body work. I'm also getting, weirdly enough, my mind, just like the way that I've drawn this sketch really reminds me of season 1 of Empire's SMP Scott's Major. Just like this sketch here, maybe it's because it's blue. Every time I see it, I'm like, this looks like Scott. Do I like the original more? Just like the angle of the head. Or like this one's sort of tilting away, but this one's sort of more... This one gives a more apathetic sort of vibe. Of just sort of like... Let me see what this looks like. Fuck, I don't know which of those I like more. Okay, let's make this one, like, to the same level as the other one, and I'll see from there. You fucking bet I'm gonna be hitting that polish when I upload this one. Granted, I think I've, like, hit polish for all of them this year. My standard for, like, hitting the polish button is, because I know I've had to do this before, is, like, if at any point during the process where I'm just like, fuck it, I just gotta get this one done, that's my marker for when it's not polished anymore. Is when I'm just like, God, I'm not happy with this anymore. I want it done. I want it out of here. Unless I had already spent a good amount of energy on it already, you know? Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Da-da-da-da-da. I like the expression of the other one better for sure. I think I sort of did like a... Let's see here. I feel like I gotta tweak it a bit more, but I do like it better. I gotta see if I can get this same expression down. But I like the angle of this one better. Let me see if I can just copy this mouth over and see if that looks good. Where am I? Oh, it's because I copied it from the wrong layer. That's why nothing pasted. That would help. Da-da-da. Let's see here. Let's make these eyes look good. That'll be helpful if they look good. I'm not getting the expression as well as I did on the other one. Let's see here. How can I make this look more like that? How did I accomplish that? Okay, first of all, let's just do all that again. Let's just fully erase these eyes. Actually, that one might be fine. I think this is another moment. Let me just do a big squimble of that. Then I can carve it out. Something to that effect. It's better than I had it before, of this same expression, of the same head shape. I think I need to... It's like, I feel like that needs to be... One of these eyes needs to change height. Let's try this one taller. Why did I have to do such a good expression on the first one, and then why did the other angle have to be so good? Wait, maybe it's the same issue as before. Maybe the eyes are too big. Wait. Did that fix it? Or am I just... It certainly helped, I think. I might just be staring at this for too long. Okay, I think I have to move on to doing something else. However, I do think that this is a lot better. I'm gonna copy this head for expression reference, and then I might work on the expression further in the future. I think I've hit a point where it's like I'm just ramming myself against a wall here, you know? Where it's like I'm accomplishing nothing else anymore, and it feels like, like, you know when you look at something for too long and you start just seeing it bad? Or like if you look in the mirror for too long, you start seeing things weird. Your face doesn't look like a face anymore. I think that's happening here. So I gotta stop doing that, and I'll return to that later. And I'll return to it with a more objective, does this look right? You know, here's something I can objectively do, is make sure the head is the right size. Yeah, I mean, I can make it a bit longer, maybe. Did that a bit weird. That's what I wanted. How's that? Unsure, once again, I'll work on that whenever I get to. Whenever I'm, like, calmed down from expression blindness or whatever. God, I'm very proud of this. I'm very happy with it so far. Part of me is considering... Should I do an Artfight stream on Thursday as well, maybe? Good creature guy there? Yeah. Like, I might do that because, you know, Artfight is ending soon. Enjoy it while it's here, exactly. It'll also force me to keep doing it more. Because I feel like I haven't done as much- I haven't done that much Artfight this year. I think this is gonna be one of my lesser done years. Which, you know, sometimes you just don't hyperfixate on something, and that's fine. I look forward to doing it again next year. It'd be fun if there was like a version of year-round Artfight. Which I know that's just called drawing fan art for other people. But you know, that'd be cool. Plus we've had stuff happening. I honestly don't even remember anything that's happened. Granted, once again, as I said before, when I start streaming, I enter like a severance mode. So I'm just like, yeah, things have happened this month. I'll take your word for it. Because I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I know that you had a thing today, and then I do have a thing later this week, I believe on Thursday. But that won't affect stream, I don't think. You know, they have mini games, but that's scary. They don't even have those that often, I don't think, but I think it'd be fun as, like, just a sort of nice thing, you know? Like, a website for it, at the very least, you know? Because then it's just, I know you could always just draw art of people's OCs. The fun of it to me is also, like, I really love Artfight as a method of, like, keeping sort of track of my OCs and stuff. In a way that, like, I do have a Toy House account. I forget to use it. I should use it more. I only really, like, update it whenever it's, like, Artfight time, and I'm like, oh fuck, I should post these things on there. But also, granted, I haven't drawn my OCs in a while. Need to get a Toy House so you can have a chance to OC post forever? Yeah. I got very lucky of, like, somebody I follow was like, I have a bunch of codes, does anybody want some? They just, like, posted, like, here's 20 of the ones that I have, go nuts. Here's a list of them, try them. I'll see if there's a way I can do that for you, Lee, if you want. I'd have to double check. Remind me to do that later. Biggs your eyes at me. I really like what Artfight did this year of the connections thing. I haven't, like, fully utilized that to the extent I have. The extent I want. But, like, fucking, I've seen the way that people have done it of, like, having the characters, like, talk about each other, and I'm like, fuck, dude, I love that. I have that set up for Mack and Pep. For, like, a fun little words on there, but I haven't done that for any of my other guys. I'm sorry, for me and Pep. On Mack. I've sort of got a Deltarune Chris Soul situation happening sometimes to me, and that's fine. It makes it sound like I'm plural. I don't want to steal valor. Okay, I'll leave this here for now. And yeah, I do think that that face looks good. Yeah. I'll come back. I'll do more of Lennox later. Hopefully I can get myself to do that off stream. At the very least, it's like, if I don't get myself to do Lennox, I can for sure get myself off stream to line and potentially color Mink. But if I can convince myself, like, don't do that until Lennox, I might be able to do that. You bet all the systems of the Chris Deltarune have so much fun with that. Or not fun, but hopefully fun, yeah. It's so cool to me when people have, like, I think they're called introjects. Those seem so cool to me. Because I'm like, whoa, that's the character. I hope that doesn't sound patronizing or anything. I think it's mostly just because, like, sometimes I'll, like, post a thing about a character, and then it's like, oh shit, the character actually reblogged it! It makes me feel really cool. Like, hell yeah. Hi. I'm big now. Now's my chance to be a big shot. Be a big. Oh my god, I heard like a really good cover of that song today. Let me pull that up. I'm not gonna play it on stream. Let me fucking... Anybody you've seen talk about it goes, it's cool I got a guy people know instead of some randos that think I'm fine. Yeah. I just want to make sure it doesn't sound like I'm like, you know, woobifying it. I don't know if that's the right term, but that's the one that popped into my brain. Everybody listen to this cover of Big Shot now. It's so fucking good. It's by, Instrument Maniac. I believe this was, yeah, this was posted a day ago, so... Incredibly good. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. But alright, let's see here. Let me see who I can raid. You guys listen to that song while I go and see who is live. Da-da-da, let's see here. I've raided you recently. Ba-ba-ba. I've raided you recently. Alright, let's see here. Okay, let's do the little raid messages. Let me do those in here. Why is- oh, I have a- because I move my stream deck when I'm doing an art stream. I was like, why is there something on my keyboard? That's the wire from that. Or the cord. Alright, you can grab one of those if you want. No pressure, you don't gotta. How about we go and we can raid... How about, I mean, we can raid, Mercury Lev. We've raided him recently, but I mean, I feel like I barely ever get a chance to actually raid him. That isn't the way that our, schedules tend to line up, you know? It tends to be the opposite. But yeah. Playing Minecraft. Wee. I hope we all have a good day today. I will see you all on Thursday. Doing more art, doing more fight. That's about it for me. I have had a great stream. I'll see you all then. And, yeah. Get out of here.